What's up, Nitro Nation? Brapheads. Muggy Maniac is in the cave. Man, this has become a hostile takeover of RTRs. Newbie number, I think it's number 3 now. Newbie number 4. Newbie number 1 that had the associated, that's also his too. The Red Cat, RTR. That's my muggy. Somebody called it a poor man's muggy. I guess you can call it a poor man's muggy. These things I think originally sold for $350 $400. I paid $250 for it, brand new. Had a 24.7 engine in it that I blew up. Matter of fact, it was my first experience with throwing a connecting rod, but I didn't just throw any connecting rod. Bam! We threw that bitch right through the side of the block. Look at that. There you go. That's what pull starts eventually will get you. So it's kind of crazy because this newbie here that I'm working on this is an XTM X2, I believe it's called. It's an 8-scale, their 8-scale buggy. It's basically the buggy version of that kind of. This thing, when I got it, it was very, very, very filthy. I mean, it's still kind of dirty, but I did a lot of cleaning up. Again, pull start issue. Took a shit, so we're replacing the pull start on this one. Also, this is an XTM. It's kind of crazy. I got an XTM hostile takeover here. This is I think this is the XTM 10th scale accelerator. It's called truck. It's a truck. They just call it a truck. It's a 10th scale truck. Has a .18. I don't even call that a pea shooter. You know the muggy calls .21's pea shooter? That's a squirt gun right there, people. That ain't no pea shooter. That's a damn squirt gun. Look at that little puppy. Matter of fact, I have that same engine over right next to this one up here. This is the same engine. XTM .18. I think this one's actually a little bit older. This one's brand new. If I can find if I can seal the back of it, because I ain't doing no pull start action. Get a sealed back for this carburetor. Everything else is brand new. It's never even been fired up, man. But I would have to have a 10th scale of some sort to put it in. I mean, maybe if I get into a 10th scale road car, I don't know. But anyway, there's the old Offna hanging out. Actually, it's great. Check this out. I didn't even realize this till right now. These 3 engines I bought on a lot. $40 I paid for all of them. Plus, it also came with another one of these Offna Hyper 21s that didn't have, I don't think it had it had everything with it, but I don't think it had the piston and the sleeve in it. So anyway, I got 2 Offna Hyper 21s. This .18, or not this one, I'm sorry. Why did I even say it? I didn't get that 24.7. That was the original one that came in my muggy. But I got this squirt gun, .18 XTM. I got this Hyper 21, and I got another Hyper 21. I got three of the engines for $40. And I ended up, this is the only one that I put together out of the other one. The other one I can build it, but it needs carburetor and all that stuff too. So, but anyway, that's the same little squirt gun that's in this 10th scale little truck over here. So yeah, I've got 3 projects right now. I've got another couple coming. I believe the guy has a Mugen road car. I really don't like to work on road cars because I don't know a lot about them. you know, I'm not a road car guy. I guess I can learn. They are nitro, but the gearing and just the way they're set up is completely different. So even the engines, to mess with those little .18s that are on them, or .15s or whatever, this stuff I'm familiar with because obviously it's similar to this of my XTM Mammoth ST. Both of these came out the same year, 2003, 2004, I believe. But you don't see a lot of either one of them. This one actually had the better upgraded shock towers. The guy said he paid $150 for it. This was like a $400 vehicle, brand new. RTR, ready to roll. Same 2-speed bullshit in it. Same pull start bullshit. You know, the pipes with the couplers. These things. It's called a coupler. I hate those things, suck. And the common thread of all of these is most of them all came with this. So this video is kind of like to cover like the pros and cons, because I get a lot of people that ask me questions about RTRs and race kits and what's the difference, and if I'm a newbie, should I, you know, should I get a race kit or should I just get an RTR? You know, I usually steer guys towards either a Kyosho, if you can find them, Neo, which is an RTR. It's a rookie whip for a newbie. It's a newbie whip. Or, obviously, the low-C RTR Trugger buggy. But because those are even eventually, you know, going to be discontinued by hobby company that I hate, Horizon, they're even hard to find. I mean, they're still out there. Yes, there's still parts available for the low Cs, blah, blah, blah. You know, people say for the next 2 or 3 years. I just talked to Horizon about a week ago. They're running low on parts. They're not ever going to make them anymore. I truly believe that low C RTRs won't be around anymore. I was talked my local hobby shop, Rob's RC shop in Huntington Beach, into actually carrying the low C RTR Truggy, and they've actually sold a couple, which is pretty cool. But anyway, this needs a pull start. Like I said, this needs a pull start. This everybody keeps bringing me these freaking RTRs, and the common thread is the pull starts. Which brings me to my next thing I wanted to talk about. Pull starts suck. But the Muggy is going to show you, just in case there's any newbies or people wondering, watching, that, you know, you can fix them. Okay? They are fixable. And I'm going to show you how you fix pull starts. Okay? So you guys pay close attention. This is how you fix pull starts. You take them and you get them all together like this, and you toss them in the trash can. That's how you fix them. And you get an engine with a sealed back. Okay? Like this. Well, you won't get one of these. These are hard to find, but you know what I mean. Don't deal with pull starts. I don't recommend them to anybody. Yes, the RTRs come with them. Man, I would buy that. I wouldn't even seal it up. Like, people will seal the Dynamite .28s. It's popular. Well, if you want to blow it up quicker, seal it. That's the quickest way to get rid of it. As soon as you get it, buy the back plate. Spend $12, $15, whatever it is for the back plate. You can probably get them through Horizon. Seal that .28 Dynamite up, and blow that sucker up and get a sealed back engine. Now, I've told you guys before, if you want to get a good, decent, badass engine, okay, for a reasonable price, get either one of these, P5s, these are badass, okay, or, now that the prices went down, these are more affordable. They used to be a lot more. I highly recommend these. This is probably one of the baddest bone stock .21s that I've ever ran right out of the box. The Virtus, this is I believe this is a 7-port .21 by Novarossi. I mean, this is like creme de la creme. These were like $300 engines. They're now around $200. They're about the same price as a brand new P5, but you can find P5s barely used for about 150 bucks if you look. Or if you want, you can also get these if you can still find them. These Elite 5s, this is an older one, but they have the one with a purple head. Like, I have one, there it is right here. I'm getting ready to put this one in my, I'm going to run this in the Mugen MBX5 Prospect. These are pretty badass too, and you can get these for about $1.50. And these, it's for a first engine, sealed, most important. You know, and people say, well, you got to buy the bump box if I get a back sealed engine. Well, yes, but you can get an inexpensive, I have one here. I've had this one, my first bump box when I got back into Nitro, Duratrax. It's like $49.99, 40 bucks, whatever. No, it's not the best bump box, but I mean, it is dual engines in it. And it works. It serves its purpose for now until you can afford a better one. But that'll get you going. That way you don't have to deal with this bullshit. Or Rotostart, because it's a one-way bearing. So, I mean, that the pros and cons of RTR, yes, it's something to get your feet wet, yes, but you are going to eventually upgrade. You know, and this is these RTRs, man, these are even the worst RTR. Not that they're bad. I don't want anybody to think like it's a bad vehicle. These XTMs, for its time when they came out, were pretty decent. And even now, you know, if you can keep them together. But the issue is you can't find parts for these things. They're very hard to find parts. You know how much work that it took me to find the shit on this thing? Oh my God. The arms are the hardest things to find. You know, I mean, and this thing's fully custom. I mean, look at that center transmission there. Even though I've had issues with it, I put about $200 into it, you know, and now I'm going to have to pull it out because I keep having one-way bearing issues. I'm going to have to pull it out, and those two steel gears, only one's in there right now, but I spent $40 at 80 bucks for both of them. Okay, so now I'm going to have to set those aside, really have no use for them, and put a center diff in there. They make a center diff. If you can find it by itself, it's 80 bucks. I've seen vehicles like this that have the center diff in it, that XTM made, you know, but people want, you know, 100, 150 bucks, you know, which I might end up having to buy another XTM with the center diff, just for the center diff, and I guess I can use the parts, but I really don't need parts. I got tons of parts for this thing. I mean, but this is the only vehicle that I have that actually has an aluminum servo saver, like the steering mechanism, it's aluminum. I mean, this is the only, I mean, I put the rear chassis brace, two of them, both of those are aluminum, titanium. I mean, I put a lot of money into this thing. But to get back to my point is, the parts on this thing were very, very hard to find because it's discontinued. They don't make it no more. So when you're dealing with an RTR, especially one that's discontinued, you know, I mean, the same thing with this Red Cat. They don't make them anymore, at least as far as I know. This, I guess it's an Avalanche. You know, definitely they don't make parts for this accelerator, this 10 scale. So I'm having to, you know, wrench on these things and try to even find a pull start. Thank God that most of these standard pull starts are from a .18 to a .21. This engine actually is a 24.7, so it's a little bit bigger. But it's the same exact engine. I can't wait to fire this up. These engines are actually, they got some juice in them, okay? For a piece of crap made in Taiwan. By the way, I was talking to my engine builder, and he was telling me that these XTM, the blocks that are made in Taiwan, are the same exact blocks in the company that makes these, the LRP .32. Now this obviously is a RCR modded LRP .32 that I, again, invested a lot of money in. Just really even modded, it doesn't do anything for me. I mean, it's made in Taiwan. It's a badass engine. Don't get me wrong, and I will fire it up and run it one of these days. But for now, compared to the 20.8 Rex Legend, man, this engine right here is the baddest 28.8 made. Now, this one here is a badass too, okay? But compared to the 28.8 Rex Legend, you know, it's close. I don't want to say it's not even close. By the way, the reason this is here, the reason that's there, the reason that's there is I just finished, usually I do 4 heat cycles because this engine's brand new. That's one of the few things that I've learned from Mr. Za that I do use. The rest of my break-in method besides the heat cycle is Adam Drake, because I don't have a Huddy break-in bench or, you know, the break-in stand deal, so I run it on my vehicle. That's why I'm prepping this thing. It's got the race tires that I'm using as street tires because I will not run. I mean, even though these are probably pretty expensive, but I've got a couple sets of these, thank God. So if I ever do want to race, I have a couple brand new sets of these. But I definitely will not run my Badlands because they don't make it anymore. These I will never run on the concrete. And I don't ever recommend anybody run these things on concrete. Now you can roll them around on concrete. I mean, I just don't, man. They don't make them anymore, man. I mean, there's still some available, but it's discontinued. So I'm not going to take a discontinued tire like I see some people, you know, and run them on concrete. Never. Hell no. So, anyway, this thing is getting set up because we're going to drop the Pico P3.28 in here, and I'm going to break it in this Mugen MBX7. Okay? By the way, this is the original body that I bought it when I got it, because I bought this thing used. And this body came with it. It's custom. The guy had it custom painted. He raced the Florida Nationals because he raced for Mugen. Right after he finished those Nationals, that's when he sold it. I think it was when the 8 was coming out. So that's the good thing about if you're gonna get a used whip, wait till the new whip comes out. Instead of getting the new whip, get the one prior to it, and you will find people will be, especially guys that race for teams, they don't care. I mean, this vehicle, I paid like nothing for it, and it came with all kinds of goodies and extra stuff with it, you know, because obviously if the guy raced for Mugen, he's getting hooked up, so he didn't really care about, you know, he taking a loss on it. So, and I mean, I got it in mint condition. I mean, this thing I got as a roller for $300, and it's as clean as it looks now. Granted, it didn't have a lot of the upgrades that I put on it. Okay, it didn't have mud guards, rear king heads, tight aluminum chassis brace, front king heads, aluminum chassis brace. Didn't come with the carbon fiber top servo saver plate, and titanium turnbuckles. I believe it already had titanium turnbuckles on it. So, I mean, other than that, those are the only real upgrades I did to it that I needed to do to it. He already had the aluminum, I think, okay, let me show you guys real quick, because I know the new, I don't think the new Mugens even come with them, but if you have a Mugen, highly recommend aluminum rear hub carriers. I was fortunate that, because if you buy these for the rear, both of them, they're about $50-$60. They're not cheap, but they came with it. The guy that raced it, you know, was smart enough to put these on there, so I kind of lucked out. But anyway, so this thing is getting prepped and getting ready to break in the Pico. So the Pico is finished with the heat cycle. I did like 5 on this. Usually I do 4. I did an extra one because this thing is really tight, and I know it's going to be a challenge to break in because that's just how Picos are. I'm gonna run a I think I've got this is a 16 Reds clutch bell I'm running on it. I'm running the Techno clutch. I like the Techno 4-shoe clutch. I'm gonna run I got 2 Max Life and 2 of the King heads. You can see them in there, the gold 70-75. hard aluminum, which I highly recommend. Max Life are good, but the king heads, I know I learned from Mr. 111. I know he uses them a lot. That's where I seen him, and I tried them, and I ran both. The king heads outlast the Max Life, and they're $10 cheaper. So that's all I'm sold. So, matter of fact, I got another couple sets coming. So I run them in all my engines now, even in my 28.8 Novarosi. In here I run it. I think I'm running it in the modded reds in the Techno here. I've got the modified reds, .21. And I'm running a 4-shoe with the king head. So I use a combo. I use 2 of the king heads, and I use 2 of the Max Life. So to get back to RTR. So RTRs, yes, they're great for beginners, newbies. But if you really want to save yourself some money in the long run, and you want to save yourself some headaches, just buy a race kit. You're going to have less issues. You won't have to spend a bunch of money on a lot of upgrades. I mean, when you get an RTR, it's a lot of plastic. So it's just, it's made just to learn, cut your teeth, learn the basic fundamentals of 8-scale nitro and move on. I mean, I don't regret ever getting this, although, I don't run it as much because, the parts are hard to get for it. So, I mean, and that's what I always tell you guys. If you're getting any vehicle, whether it's an RTR or a race kit, make sure you're getting something where parts are available. I haven't picked up an X-Ray or a Kyosho for those 2 reasons, even though, or an HB. All 3 of those whips are great, truggies and buggies. HB, especially I think they come out with a new one, or they already did. Kyosho's MP10, I'd rather get the 9. I'm still looking at maybe possibly picking up a 9, MP9 TK4, if I can find one. TKI4, is that what they're called? I think. But again, Kyosho parts are expensive, and there are not a lot of them out there. That's why I originally picked the Mugens and Techno in the first place, because their parts are all over the place, and the support is there. You got Adam Drake always doing videos, so if you need to know anything, whether it's about racing or stuff that's universal that he teaches that you can use for bashing, he's doing videos. I thought even of an Agama, but Agama hasn't really proven enough, even though Ryan Lutz is doing well with him, for me to invest in him. So I love my Techno. I love my Mugens. Who knows? I might get another Mugen Truggy, or I got the 8. As you guys know, I sold it to my cousin. I could always get it back from him because he doesn't use it a lot. But I like my 7 better than that 8. The 8, the big difference on the 8 was the straight cut gears that they changed on it. Okay, and the arms and stuff like, there was a few changes. But I love this thing, man. I have never had an issue with it, so but I might, who knows, I might pick up a Mugen 8 buggy. I wouldn't mind having a newer buggy. I love my 5 Pro Spec, but I wouldn't mind having a newer one, or a 7 if I can find a 7. So anyway, that's all I got, man. I don't want to do too long of a video. I'm prepping that to get broken in, but now that I have time, because of these pull starts, I have to wait 3 or 4 days, because obviously you're not going to, even if the hobby shops are open, you're not going to go to a hobby shop and get a pull start. I wish. So it takes 3 or 4 days. I think these pull starts for these things will probably be in next Monday or Tuesday, sometime next week. So I have a few days break. I'm not wrenching on any other vehicles, because these I've already cleaned up, prepared them for the new pull start. Same thing with this one. Same thing with that one. I have finally got a break because I've been busy. I'm helping out, trying to help out newbies, trying to get people. I mean, look at these radios, man. Look at this. This is the one for the Red Cat. Look at that. Actually, this is the better one, because it's actually 24 2.4 gigahertz. These things are a joke. And that's what I'm talking. RTR, I mean, even look at the radios. The radios suck. Yeah, they work. I'd rather spend $30 on a FlySky, which is way better than this garbage. And these are AM too, man. And this is the original radio, identical radio that came with my XTM Mammoth ST Muggy over there. My Muggy. That's my Muggy. Okay? This is the radio that came with it, man. This thing is a piece of shit, man. Oh, I forgot to say, man, in my videos, and I don't want to get any flack from this. This is definitely not for kids. This is not X-rated anymore. Not really R-rated. I've been pretty mellow on the cussing, actually. You know, my daughters have been getting on me about it because they sometimes will watch my videos. So, but yeah, so I haven't been doing much of the cussing. So I've been trying to keep that down. So anyway, I'm human. I cuss every once in a while, just like any other guy. But I just had to throw in that, you know, not for kids. I also highly recommend, if you can find these, I believe they might still on eBay. This is by Power Racing. This is the closest. It's called the 086. It's not the original Dynamite, but it's pretty much a clone of a Dynamite 86. Identical. This is the closest you're going to get to an 086 pipe right here. This pipe actually performs really well. Matter of fact, I'm going to use this on the Pico when I break it in. And why am I breaking it in? Because I've never broken in one of these. The other one that I have that got modded by RB Mods, I sent it straight to Rick because I was told they're just really difficult to break in. And I was still new too when I got that engine. But now I'm like, you know what? I want to feel what this thing is like bone stock. That way, once I get it modded, and I highly recommend this to anybody, I would break in an engine, get the experience if you don't have it. If you already have the experience, break it in, then that's one thing. But the biggest reason is that I want to break this in is because I want to know what this thing feels like stock. I've never ran a stock P3.28 Pico. Then once I send it to RCR, because I'm only going to break it in, run maybe, you know, a quart, half a gallon max through it, not even that, probably a quart through it, and then box it up and send it to Lance to get modded. So once I get it modded and it comes back to me, I can see the see what the differences is. And I recommend doing that to any engine. That way you know. Okay, so I've broken in 3 of these, or actually 2, Rex Legend 28.8s. And I know what they were like stock, I know what they're like modded. Stock, they're badass. But modded, pff, not even close. If you want a next level, if you're ready to go to the next level, and you've been around a while, I highly recommend a Rex Legend Novarossi 28.8, okay? Or if you can't get these, the Truggy engine, which is the same thing. They're out there. They're a little bit more now, but get it modified. Stock is cool. Yes, it's badass, but modified is completely different. And I've ran these, remember, I have one modded by RB Mods right here, okay, which is a nasty engine, okay, but this RCR one is nastier, badderasser, by far. I highly recommend Lance, but get it modded by whoever you want. I recommend trying different modders. That way you can see who does what. I've ran RB mod stuff and I've ran RCR modded stuff. And I can tell you personally that the RCR stuff is head and shoulders above the RB mods. So unless you ran both RB mods and RCR or RC Renew, then you know. If you haven't ran both, then you have no idea. And I hear people talk about which is better, and they don't even own both. If you've ran both of these, you can't honestly say running an RCR 28.8 Rex Legend modded, okay, RCR, and a RB modded 28.8, you can't honestly say that the RB mods performs better. It doesn't. Not that Rick didn't do good work with my engine. I'm just speaking from my personal experience. That engine is a badass engine. I love it because it's a 28.8. I love my 28.8s. It's a badass engine. But compared to this one here is like a whole nother level, man. So that's my recommendations. You do what you want. I suggest you get your you do your own tests. Okay? Don't take my word. I always say that. That's my disclaimer. Don't believe or say or go by what the muggy says. This is just my personal experience and what works for me. The same things about pipes. I've ran a 9986 and I've ran a 2148 Triton pipe, and I can tell you personally on my modded engines and other engines, the 2148 Triton pipe is next level to the 9886 Novorossi with the 41032. Now, if you're going to run a 41032 header, okay, I think that's what I got in here. If you're going to run a 41032 header, do yourself a favor. A 41032 header and a 9986 pipe work best on a modded 28.8 Rex Legend. Not that they won't work on a stock one, but that's not dyno-wise. And if you go by, people in the past that have ran these things, they'll tell you that a modified 28.8 Rex Legend performs the best with the 41032 and the 9886. And I've actually ran the Triton one on it too, and the Triton's badass too, so either one, like I said, do your own homework, do your own research, don't take my word for it. What do I know, right? So anyway, alright people, that's about all I got. This thing is gonna not run with that body. We're gonna beat up the other Techno body. That body right there is not going anywhere out of this room anytime soon. Now, once I make something better than this, and this is probably one of my best, this is my best work by far. I did a lot of things different that I didn't do before. So, until I do another one of these, then I'll run this one. But until then, this is my show body. Thing is looking pretty sexy. Like that purple matches in there, huh? The 28.8 Rex Legend. This thing is bad ass. Alright, anyway. I love my Mugen too, so we're going to break in the Pico on this sucker here. So anyway, yeah, so I'm waiting for all these pull starts to come in for these newbies. Like I said, I mean, an RTR is good to learn on, and but you can get, and I've already shown you guys, sorry about that, people, I've already shown you guys that you can build a race kit for about the same price as you're going to spend on an RTR. Okay? So, I mean, I recommend getting a race kit like that one over there, old school, and building your own. And you could either race it if you want to later, or you can just bash it. Okay? This, you're not going to race nothing like this. That, or that, definitely not going to race. And you're not even going to race this one either. I mean, you could if you want to embarrass yourself, but at least these other vehicles, you can race them. So, I mean, you can build something for the same price that you would spend on a low-C RTR. RTR, like I said, it's just to learn, get your feet wet and learn the basic fundamentals. But the pull starts, the roto starts, that shit's headaches, man. This is where that's how you fix pull starts, people. Remember that. That's Toss that shit in the trash where it belongs. So anyway, yeah, so that's what's going on with the Muggy. We're going to do some ripping, hopefully this weekend, because it's Friday. We're going to rip the Techno and the RCR modded. And I can't wait, man. Messing with all these RTRs here, man, I can't wait to run run a real race kit now. That's one thing you will know for when you go to your when you learn and everything on an RTR and stuff like this or whatever. When you get something like that or you know, even something old school like that, you will definitely feel the difference, and you will be like, oh my god, what was I doing with this thing? Learning, that's what you're supposed to do. Anyway, that's all the Muggy's got. Remember, people, be safe out there. Use tons of this. Matter of fact, hold on. Let me put some on my hands real quick. I feel like I need to sanitize right now. I need to be sanitized. I need to be sanitary. Fresh. Wash your hands, people. Be safe. Stay in. If you're going to go out and do your brapping, go someplace where there's nobody around. That's why I'm going to my spot. We're going to hit those little kitty bumps, as people call them, that I made. And, you know, we're going to rip some real nitro. Because I know everybody's probably getting tired of watching me rip around these rookie freaking newbie vehicles. But, you know, I'm trying to help out newbies. That's the only way nitro's going to grow. During this downtime, nitro's going to take a big turn, trust me. We're going to go through we're probably, this is like a hitting the reset button for nitro because of this coronavirus. Shout out also to, and my heart goes out and prayers go out to our fellow Nitro brothers in Italy. I know, man, those people are really going through some hard times right now. You know, those are where my badass, you know, and those of you that love Italian motors, my, you know, Picos, you know, Reds, you know, Novarossis, you know, these come from Italy, man. These things come from Italy, man, and they're going through some shit right now, man, and that sucks. So prayers go out to those guys in Italy. Shout out to them, man. You guys hang tough, hang in there, man. Hopefully this shit is over with soon, and we can move on and get back to racing and you know, bashing and doing our thing in Nitro, man. And in the meantime, you know, the way that I'm trying to contribute is by helping out new people, because I'm getting a lot of, with my little RC business on the side that I do the fixing and repairing and restorations and rebuilds and all that, I'm getting a lot of people, you know, that I can, you know, help and educate, you know, and get into to help build Nitro. It's not all about me. It's not all about all my badass whips and engines and all that stuff. You know, like some people will say, oh, the Muggy this, Muggy talk, you know. Look, at least nobody can say that I'm not helping people. Okay? Like I said in the past, you're either part of the problem or part of the solution. I'm trying to be part of the solution and not the problem. Problem is people are lazy. They don't want to do anything. They're just worried about themselves. And rightfully so right now. I mean, we can't, you know, do much socializing. But there's a lot of ways that you can help out. And this is my way of helping out. Yes, I do make money doing it, but, you know, also it's you know, I'm helping out newbies. I just hope people don't bring me no more Traxxas. I'm tired of working on Traxxas, man. Bring me some XTMs, bring me some Red Cats, bring me some old school Losis, whatever. Just please don't bring me any more Traxxas, man. I'm tired of working on those things. But, like I said, those Traxxas give me an opportunity to tell people why Traxxas suck, why you shouldn't run Traxxas, and why it's going to give you nothing but headaches. Okay? You know? So that's the way I look at it. Anyway, that's all I got, people. Remember, Nitro is the true glory, but E-Word, E-Buggy does pay the bills. So, like I've heard on the podcast that I watch, No Name Podcast, if you ain't sliding, you're grinding. That Lefty, his name's Lefty. That's JQ's sidekick. He also says this, I like this. If you're not having fun, what's the point? True. Alright, people. One more look at this sweet, sexy whip. Man, I'm so proud of this paint job I did, man. Thing turned out sick. Alright, people. That's all I got, man. Muggy's out. Peace.